Well, good morning and welcome to what we think is a historic day for Tomah Memorial Hospital, the city of Tomah, Monroe County, and western Wisconsin. I'm Eric Price, the Marketing and Public Relations Director at Tomah Memorial Hospital. We're so glad you could take time out of your day to be with us today. When plans for the original Tomah Hospital were announced, the Tomah newspaper ran a special Memorial Hospital edition back on February 14th, 1950. And that paper highlighted the community effort put into the project. We have copies of that at the hospital if you'd like to get one at a later date. In that edition, hospital board members, city officials, healthcare officials, dignitaries, and residents all shared their role in the plans to build that 25-bed hospital at the tune of $179,000. While a few things have changed over the years, especially in those 67 years, the event is still a celebrated occasion today, and we want to thank you for attending, and we'd like to introduce a few special guests that we have with us today. Even though the plan for the new hospital had been in the works for about 2 years, the vision took place much earlier, thanks to our leader and CEO. I'd like to hear some welcome words from Chief Executive Officer Phil Stewart.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you all for coming out today to help us celebrate a new beginning for our hospital, our community, and for the region. We actually have been working on this as a part of a strategic plan for probably 10 years. So we're pretty excited that we're actually getting somewhere where we can, a little early on the groundbreaking, but it is coming to fruition. And it's because of a lot of work that happens, not just, as Eric said, it's not just me. It involves all of the staff members. I'd like to point out from our medical staff, Dr. Jill McMullen, who's the president of medical staff from the clinics, providers that come and provide support. We couldn't do it without their help, and it's greatly appreciated. The staff, as Eric noted, the people that work the front lines are really what drive our organization, so we're very fortunate to have them as part of our team. I wanted to take a second and also acknowledge Paul Merline is here. We are working on a capital campaign for this project, hopefully getting $2 to $2.5 million. I'm going to just announce who those people are that are going to help drive some money for us, which is always important on a project of this dollar magnitude. So we have Ray Habelman is one of our honorary co-chairs. I know Ray is in the audience. Wait, thank you, Ray. Dr. Scott Nickel is the other co-chair. He could not be here today as an honorary co-chair. Our co-chairs are Jeff Holthouse, Keith and Paula Logan, and Pete Reichard. Cabinet members include Derek Bernstead, Kevin Decora, Brian Urshley, Diana Gerke, Sandy Humphrey, Najee Van Wyken, and Ron Whalen. You're going to hear a little bit of a testimonial from a couple of the co-chairs in a few minutes. I don't want to take too much of their thunder. We have started the silent portion of this campaign. Dollars that have already been pledged and those that we're hoping are going to finalize their commitment is almost $1 million already. So we're pretty grateful for that. So as you pay attention as we open this up for the full community, and if you're interested in supporting this campaign, please talk to one of those members or myself. We'd be glad to do that. As Eric already said, I'd like to really do a shout out to the city of Tomah. We've been working with them early on in this process. And without the cooperation of the city and the township early on, I don't think we would have made the progress that we've made today. So thank you, both the city and the township, for your support in this endeavor. And I guess the last thing I really want to say, I'm not much for speech making, I'm going to ask Dr. Rathgaber to come on up, and we want to make kind of a little bit of a joint announcement. And I'm going to let him take most of it, but as we've alluded to in a lot of our articles, we have reached an agreement. Gunderson will be building a clinic on the campus that will be attached directly to the hospital, and we're pretty excited about that, so I'm going to let Dr. Rathgaber maybe fill you in on some little details.
Great. Thank you, Phil. Well, we are indeed delighted to be here and work with this joint project with Tomah Memorial Hospital. This is a great day, in my opinion, for the health of the Tomah community. Gunderson is really delighted to be a part of this project, and we thank you for being invited. We love to join projects that bring value and enhance the health of the communities we serve, and we love to work with systems and leaders who share our commitment with the community and keeping care close to home. And let me tell you, Phil Stewart is that kind of committed leader. I've worked with him, and he really cares about this community. He deeply cares about it, and he deeply cares about bringing service to this area. So I can attest you to that. I also, your board of governors, also your board of directors, also share that commitment, and it excites us to be working with partners who have that same missional view of the area. Phil, you and your team have done a great job, and a great job for the future of this community, and I commend you for this project. It's been a long time in works, planning, strategy, and then starting to get the ground turned. It's a great day, but a lot of work has gone through this with you and your team, and I commend you for that. I also want to thank you. We're very grateful that Gunderson has been invited to come on this journey, and we've been committed to the Tomah area for decades, and we are happy to be able to expand our services to the community. We will be able to continue primary care, obstetrics, gynecology, surgery, vision, orthopedics, dialysis, behavioral health, and all the existing specialty services through this new venture and new building. But this new facility will not only allow us to continue existing services, but it allows us to provide new services as well. So we're looking forward to adding cancer and radiation treatment through our facility and podiatry services, as well as expanding our outreach that already comes out here. So it's really an exciting day for our system to be joining with Tomah, and it's just a fantastic day to finally get this announcement out, and we look forward to working together.
As you can imagine, we've already talked a little bit about the strong organization depending on leadership and a dedicated board of directors. We'd like to welcome Board President Paul Potter with a few remarks.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Tomah Memorial Hospital Board, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here on this great day. I don't want to downplay the magnitude of this project by saying this, but what we're about to build is just a shell. Great people inside of that great facility will do great things. Our board mission, vision, and values statement include the words continuous quality improvement and first do no harm. These are but words unless the employees that we hire and retain hold these values to heart as well. Us being here today is a testament to this organization's commitment to these words and the successes that our great employees have done to this point. The building of this modern, efficient facility is yet another step in this journey. This day wouldn't be complete without also thanking every employee for their hard work and dedication as the organization has worked through the monumental task of migrating to a new electronic health record system. This is a large task. If you've been part of this, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Paul. We talked a little bit about our good neighbors, including the county and city. Well, it really makes a project like this very successful. And let's welcome Tomah City Administrator Roger Gorias.
The strength of any community is really only as strong as the members that make up its citizenry. When Phil came to us a few years ago and said that this project was going to become a reality, and as you all know Phil, when he sets his mind to something, it's gonna go. So we were pretty much tasked with, they were going to be here on a certain date, and we had to be here well ahead of them. So we started the process of the annexations, working with Howard in the town, which was very easy because they're very easy to work with and they're very congenial and helpful. We got the water and the sewer out here. We were very happy about that, and I'd just like to give a nod out to my staff, Kirk, and the people that made this happen. There's a lot that goes into this, but the reason it's important for us is that whenever we look at anything in the city, we're asked basically three questions. What can you provide us if we bring a business or if we bring somebody here? And right at the top of it is healthcare. Everybody wants to know, what do you have? And we are always very happy to be able to say we've got top-notch healthcare in Tomah, and we're very happy to have this expansion come out. I'd like to actually thank Phil for letting us be integral in this part, and have such a strong partnership with them. It's been a heck of a ride so far, and I think it's going to be an even greater ride to go on. But we're looking forward to seeing the building come up, and we're very happy to have been part to help out. So, and thank you all for coming.
I think everybody picked up on the $179,000 mark that we talked about earlier. But as we've talked about and shared with you, this estimated $66 million project just does not happen. We want to thank support from the United States Department of Agriculture. We've received the largest USDA rural development loan that's ever been awarded in the state of Wisconsin. To talk a little bit more about that is Rural Development Acting State Director Dave Schwab.
Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate being a part of this day today, and so does our staff with USDA Rural Development. A little bit about us. We deliver on an annual basis generally about $500 million back to Wisconsin in loans and grants through programs such as business and industry, through our housing direct and guarantee programs, as well as our community facility program and water and waste. And that's important, $500 million, and as you just mentioned, $35 million that we've contributed here. The Tomah Hospital financial package, as you said, is our largest package that we've done in any one year in our history. The project didn't happen overnight, though. A lot of work took place between Tomah Memorial, our specialist Nate Billinghurst, who's been helping out to put this financial package together. Our national office routinely asks us to manage our expectations when doing deals like this. We do this through a project scoring process, and that helps us balance out the needs and priorities of projects with the funding that we receive from the national office or through the appropriations of Congress. So we try to do this as a balance with this criteria. Tomah Memorial was able to put together more equity and private financing into the overall credit package, thus increasing the strength of this deal. In essence, you increased your private investment, decreased your request from rural development, and ultimately it was a successful strategy to gain financing. As Nate and our rural development staff worked with our Washington headquarters to get approval on this large funding package, Washington noted that this was one of the strongest hospital deals that they've ever seen. And that's quite a compliment to get for a small town in Wisconsin. I understand the decision, as was mentioned here earlier, to replace the hospital has been in the works for many years, as evidenced by the hospital's ability to carry a large cash contribution to this construction project. The board of directors, which represents a wide range of occupational interests, as well as community leaders and business owners, should be complimented for your work in putting this all together. Just as important, the business owners see this investment in modern medical facilities in the community as a necessity to retain competent and qualified workforce. Our ability to secure funding at $35 million was made relatively easy given the solid financial performance demonstrated and the diverse and talented management team that you have. Congratulations on what you've accomplished so far, and I wish you good luck on the construction phase.
Thank you, Dave. I also want to welcome Jessica Mansell. Jessica is the Public Information Officer with USDA. She's been instrumental in helping us to make sure we get the correct information back and forth. So thank you, Jessica. From the early start of this development program, a group of area business leaders has been meeting behind the scenes to get local support for the project. Phil's already talked a little bit about that. We'd like to hear a little bit more with Capital Campaign co-chairs Keith Logan and Jeff Holthouse.
So I'm Keith Logan, and first thing I wanted to do was thank the existing board and administration for making this decision. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure there were some long meetings that took place, but after being faced with the information that you guys all head, it was clear that the only way to move forward was you absolutely had to put this building together. And it was the right decision. It was a good conclusion. And frankly, our family agrees with that conclusion. For the reason perhaps that Roger mentioned, the fact that the hospital is a cornerstone of any community, and it really contributes substantially to the vitality of the whole community. We feel that's very important. And besides that, certainly there's a lot of comfort in the fact that there's going to be a first-class hospital close to home when you need it. From a standpoint of supporting this hospital, no, I didn't realize that the first hospital cost $179,000. That's pretty amazing. But from historically, the community has supported the hospitals, not only Tomah Hospital, but look at all around us. Area hospitals as well as national hospitals are supported by the community they're in. And that's really the reason that my wife Paula and I are supporting this project. And we encourage everyone here, as well as everyone in the community, to consider the same support. Thanks again to the board, and thanks for the invite.
Good morning. I'm Jeff Holthouse. Happy to be here this morning. And I guess I kind of wanted to bring more of a personal touch to the hospital and what it means probably to the community and mostly to my family. So you've probably all heard that phrase, and it just drives me nuts now to hear that, well, Tomah Hospital's just a Band-Aid shop. You need to go to La Crosse, you need to go to Madison. And never really thought much about it until my son became ill. So for 2 days he stayed home from school. He was 18 years old, thought he had the flu. Suck it up, buttercup, you'll be fine. Well, he came to us 11 o'clock one night and said, I can't take it anymore, I need to go to the hospital. And he was 18 years old, so it seemed like he could make that decision. So he hates needles. So I said, they're probably going to put a needle in you to draw blood or whatever. I don't care. At that moment, my wife and I knew he was very sick. So we brought him into Tomah Memorial through the emergency room. They started running some tests. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And they said something seriously wrong with your son, and we don't think we can get him to La Crosse in time. So we're calling in our surgical team. Being in Tomah, I hate to say it, didn't realize we had a surgical team that was available 24 hours a day. So these people come in 2 in the morning, literally looking like we just woke them out of bed, which we did. They thought there was something intestinally wrong with my son, that maybe an intestine had turned and now he had blockage, and fluids that you don't want in your bloodstream are now getting into his bloodstream. So Dr. Lusick, which is a name I'll remember forever, came in, looks a little rough, like he just got out of bed, and says, we need to bring him into surgery. Should be a couple hours at best. Sounded like he was in good hands. We agreed with what he was saying, and off to surgery he went. 5 hours later, after a lot of praying and sweating, Dr. Lusick walks in, looks like he'd been through way more than he anticipated, and he said, your son's going to be fine. It wasn't what we thought. What had happened is his umbilical cord had never stopped growing. It had grown inside him for 18 years and had unraveled and entwined through all his intestines and everything else that we have in our gastrology area. And that's the medical as I get right there. But Dr. Lusick had remembered reading about that specific thing, which happens to 1% of the people in the world, in 1960 or 1961 in college, and that intrigued him. So from that point on, when people say Tomah's a Band-Aid shop, I am promptly correcting them on what the capabilities are here, the medical team that we have here, and now with this new building that we're going to build, which to me, by the interstate, is going to be a billboard to everyone that drives by to say, Tomah has have first-class health care. Tomah Health, which is now it's going to be called. So I beg you, if it's not for you to support it, to talk to someone else that can help support it so we can expand upon what the hospital already wants to do. There's things that we want to expand in regards to physical therapy, for example, certain kind of pools, trampolines, surfaces for people to rehab, because that's really where the world's going to change with all the parts that we're replacing now, knees, hips, shoulders. We can be on the front line of that. We already have an amazing, I think, physical therapy department, but we can be even better than what we have today. So again, just wanted to share that story, and please correct someone when they say we're just a Band-Aid shop. We are a first-class hospital. We have everything they need to prove that. So thanks for your support.
Thank you, Jeff. He alluded to it a little bit as he mentioned a new name, and you've seen it on the banners that we have and also on the signs as you drove in this morning. The other key development that we want to announce today is that beginning with the occupancy of our new facility in the fall of 2019, Tomah Memorial Hospital will be known as Tomah Health. Back in April, the hospital board of directors endorsed the new name along with a branding of the organization as a result of about an 8-month project completed by a rebranding committee that was made up of staff at Tomah Memorial. Designers from our media agency, Greenleaf Media from Madison, coordinated that effort. And with a few comments about our new name, our new look, and our new brand from Greenleaf Media, I'd like you to introduce Mary Welsh. Mary?
Good morning. I'm Mary Welsh from Greenleaf Media. I'm honored to be here today to celebrate the groundbreaking for the new Tomah Health campus. Our group has worked closely with Eric and the staff of Tomah Memorial to promote the hospital and lay the foundation for this new facility. Over the last 8 months, our group at Greenleaf Media has coordinated the effort that included collecting and integrating feedback from staff and the community while exploring what Tomah Memorial has meant to the area now and into the future. I thank members of the rebranding committee, and I see a few here in the audience today, which is great, and the public for their time and feedback throughout this process. Their input was integral to selecting the new name and exploring the key elements that define the organization. These elements come together in the new descriptor for Tomah Health, which is: Tomah Health advances excellence in care by inspiring health, wellness, and balance for patients, families, and our community, together in care. The key elements, health, wellness, and balance, serve as the foundation for the new branding and are reflected in the 3 prongs of the new logo. The earth tones and curves of the new logo also reflect the key themes and direction of the new facility. Tomah Health will be much more than a hospital. It will be a comprehensive health and wellness community. Community has been at the core of Tomah Memorial for 65 years, and that dedication will only grow into the future. Thank you, and best of luck with the project.
Thank you, Mary. It has been an exciting project and one that, as Mary pointed out, will continue to develop as the project moves along. By the way, you can stay up to date on our project through a time-lapse camera of the actual site that is found on our website at tomahhospital.org. You can also take an animated walkthrough of what the building will look like at that same site. So we'd like to thank our friend from Markin & Johnson, BWBR design team, for all the help in getting those 2 elements put together. We've had a lot of visits to that site already, and as you can imagine, walking through what the hospital will look like is just really exciting, and also to be able to keep track of it throughout the entire process has also been remarkable. So thank you very much. That concludes our groundbreaking program for today and our ceremony. We'd like to thank you all for being here. We are going to actually do the official digging with our shovels, and we have some key people that we'd like to have come forward. Thank you very much for being here. If you do have any questions at all about the project, feel free to reach out, because together we're here to take care of you. Thank you.